Yeah, I expect this stuff to be on the quiz. How do we simplify square root of 192? Okay. Your calculator probably can do the square root of 192, but it cannot do a cubed. How do we simplify? Well, if you did it by hand, it would look like this. Okay, so a doubles come out, so a 2 comes out, a 2 comes out, a 2 comes out. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And then the leftover 3 stays in. But how did we do the in? How did we deal with this? Right, we did 3 divided by 2. So what is 3 divided by 2? 2 goes into 3 once, 1 times 2, with the remainder of 1. So what does that mean? That means 1 n is coming out and 1 n is left behind. So it's n. Alright, you good? I haven't made it yet. I'd say 25 or something like that. These questions go pretty quickly, so. Well, a couple of these are kind of hard, but most of them are pretty fast. Cube root. Oh, I'm not doing all of these. We're only doing the odds today, by the way, not the evens. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah.
So I'm going to do like every other odd, but I think I'll do number 3 because it's a cube root. So I want to make sure I do one of those.
We're not doing evens at all.
Not doing the evens at all.
I just didn't even hold.
Me too.
I should have told you like 10 minutes from now. When that one
Well, I was confused on how to, because my calculator wouldn't do part of it, so I was like,
Well, yeah, they can't do the letters. Can't do the cube roots either.
yeah, I know that. Yeah.
So, what do I have to do if it's a cube root? Right, you have to do the tree, and it has to have 3. That rhymes. You have to do the tree, has to have 3. So there's a triple 2 inside of 40. So the 2 comes out, and then there's a 5 left behind. Well, okay, normally I leave space there. In this case, I'm not going to need it. Because, what's going to happen to the ends? You guys remember?
1.
You do 2 divided by 3, but what's the problem?
There's
It's, 2 is not big enough to be divided by 3. Or you could say it's 0 with the remainder of 2. So there's not enough ends to escape, so you just kind of leave them alone. N squared stays inside the cube root.
Easy.
Alright, I'm going to jump to 20, or number 7, I mean 20. Square root of 252. It's the same directions, they're just adding another letter basically. A cubed. Well, if it's a cubed root or a fifth root, maybe I'll just do 11 on this section actually. Because that's the fifth root. 224 x5 y4. Okay, so if it's a fifth root, what has to happen? You need 5 of something for it to get out. And guess what? There are 5 2's in there. So a 2 comes out, and a 7 stays inside the fifth root. Okay, now what's going to happen to the x's? 5 divided by 5,
1x.
1 with the remainder of 0. So that means 1 comes out and nothing is left behind. So the x escapes. Okay, what about the y's though? Right, not enough y's. 4 divided by 5 doesn't work. Not enough y's to get out. So y to the 4th remains. Alright, number 1. This time we're writing the expression in exponential form. You guys remember what that meant? Fraction exponents. Fraction exponents, rational exponents. So we are starting with cube root of 3n. So what is the invisible power on the 3 right now? 1. So this is 3 to the 1/3 and times n to the 1/3. Okay, 3 through 9, they kind of wrote it differently than how our books wrote it, but our books wrote it more like number 4. But it's really the same thing. So number 5, I'll just put there. It's cube root of 6k squared. Okay, well, it doesn't really matter where the power is. Right now, this is like 6 to the 1/3 and k to the 1/3. But if you square those, they like multiply to 2/3. Okay, so it's basically like these are both to the 2nd power. That's kind of how it works. Okay, so the exponent just is on everything in there. So it's 6 to the 2/3, k to the 2/3. So in that case, number 9 would be what? X to the 8/5. Alright, and number 11 through whatever, we're going the opposite direction, we're putting it back inside the radical. So 11 would be what? What's the 1/2 power turned into? It's like x to the 1 and then the square root, right? So it's just square root of x. Invisible 1, invisible 2. Oh, I guess I'll do 15 instead. 15, 15 is also a square root. Maybe I should do 17. No, I'll do 13. I'll go back and do 13. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping around all over the place. It's 5x to the 7/4. So what's the root going to be on 13? 4. So that goes right there. And both of these are to the 7th. So that would be like that.
Can we do the parentheses thing?
In the, yeah, I guess. Maybe cause a mess when they're grade, but that's okay.
Can we
And
just do the parentheses if we want to?
Yeah.
You're fine. Oh, I didn't hear you.
I should have said no, that'd been funnier.
Yeah.
No, for one.
Sorry, Corey.
That was a
You are
mistake.
not my favorite. You're down there with Hope.
What? Me? What did I do?
What did you not? What did you not do?
Mr. Jordan is your favorite in this class.
It's definitely not you, girl.
So,
Let him answer. Let him answer.
so many to choose from. So,
I mean, it's obvious which side of the class you favor more. Like,
It's me.
no, you're a horrible person.
No, it's a clear answer.
Like, we may be annoyed, but like, you're a horrible
Just
person.
kidding. We already know. We already
You're
know.
You're
like
saying I'm a
horrible
horrible person? I'm an amazing person.
Did you hear what you said? You said if I was a guy, I'd be gay. That's what you said.
What?
I
I did
well,
say-
technically, if she was a guy, she would be gay.
Yeah.
because she's
You're
attracted.
siding with her?
I wish it was a guy.
She's saying she's attracted to guys.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, but that's gay if you're a guy.
All right.
She's too loyal to
Get
the
it. Enough. Okay. In the book, we simplified 5 to the 7th, but in this, let's just leave it because that's a giant number. Okay. What else? Well, okay, I'm going to jump all the way down to 21. So it's 10,000 BQ B to the 4th. To the 3/4.
I have to get that.
Okay, guys. If I'm doing 10,000 to the 3/4 power, what's the 4th root of 10,000? What times what times what times what equals 10,000? 10. So this would be like 10 to the third. Like you take the 4th root is 10. 10 cubed. 10 times 10 times 10. 1,000. Okay, now you could cheat and use your calculator because that's just those are just numbers. Those are just numbers. But for the B's, how do we do this when we have a power to a power? Huh?
Wait, so the answer would just be 1,000 or what?
Well, 10,000 to the 3/4 is 1,000, yes. But B to the 4th to the 3/4, what do we do? What do we do with the exponents here? Power to a power, no. What do we do when we have a power to a power? Multiply.
Good job, Shannon.
4 times 3/4 is 3. 3/4 of 4 is 3. Anyways, that's what would come up.
I can't do it on my own.
Me either.
I heard this.
Wait, which part was the hard part? All you had to do was 4 times 3/4
Was that the only one?
and 10,000 to the 3/4.
Yeah, come on, man. You've got to be kidding me. What?
Okay,
Like on a specific one.
number 1, you could use a calculator, but it'd be much faster to not. Because what is number 1 going to be?
2.
Negative.
No.
Negative 8 square root of 3. Remember, when you're subtracting, it's like subtracting like terms. Like negative 5x minus 3x is negative 8x. So negative 5 square root of 3 minus 3 square root of 3 is negative 8 square root of 3. It's like that.
That's a big one.
Okay, I suppose if you didn't know for sure, you still would want to use a calculator. Let's jump to number 5.
The jumping is scary.
Okay, number 5, negative 3 square root of 27 minus 3 square root of 27 minus 3 square root of 27. Negative 9 square root of 27. However, this one a calculator might actually save you because 27 simplifies to 3 square root of 3. So what's negative 9 times 3 square root of 3?
Negative 27.
Negative 27 square root of 3.
I hate
Oh
you.
my gosh. Gaia.
Shannon.
What?
Okay, 9 is next, but 11 looks harder, so maybe let's try 11.
I don't know how to do
Stop
that.
jumping.
7, okay, 7's like 9 and 11 except for its square roots. You just need to simplify the square root of 45, square root of 20 to see what's like terms. Well, watch 11 and then if you'll probably figure it out. 11 is definitely the hardest one here.
I don't know how to do 9.
You don't know how to do anything.
9 is like 11, it's just easier a little bit. Okay, right now it doesn't look like any of these can add together, right?
No.
But if we simplify, we might find out that some of them actually do. So you're supposed to do the tree. Let's do 32 times 10. Okay, because this is a cube root, we need triples to escape. So I've got a 2 and a 2. So 2 2's get out. So this is gonna be negative 4 cubed root of 5. You guys follow that? Who said no?
I didn't even say anything, bro.
Oh, maybe Issa said hope.
What?
Did you whisper hope?
No, that's a
Big brat back there.
Oh,
That's why
wow.
you said
I thought you said no.
Oh. No, I said hope.
no, you didn't.
Liar.
Okay, does the second term look like it's gonna simplify? No, definitely not. So I just brought it down. Notice these two terms are actually identical. Does 135 probably simplify? Yeah, probably. If 5 comes out, 135 divided by 5 will be like 27. And guess what? 27 has a cube root of 3. So it's 3 cubed root of 5 times 2. So 2 times 3 cubed root of 5 is 6 cubed root of 5. So all of those, yeah, some of these are hard. All of these, this is probably the hardest one on the sheet though. All of these are actually like terms. Except for the last one, because it's not going to be a cubed root of 5. It's going to be 2 cubed root of 2 times 2,
Oh.
4 cubed root of 2. So that one does not really mix. It's the outcast. But these three are like terms. So we have negative 4 of them, minus 4, plus 6.
Negative 2.
Yes, negative 2 cubed root of 5 plus this guy, which doesn't mix. Nine is like a smaller, on 9, by the way. Do you guys notice on the first term on 9, it's cube root of negative 3? What do we do with that negative inside the cube root? Well, the cube root of a negative is just going to be, like, let's do an easy one. If it's cube root of negative 8, that would just be negative 2. So if there's a negative in there, it just comes out, the cube root just comes out, you just bring the negative out. So on the first term, the negative comes out and joins the negative already there, and the first term becomes positive. The cube root of a negative is just a negative. So the two negatives make it positive. So it's just 3 cubed root of 3. The other two terms, you have to do a tree, like I was doing. Number 7, you could use your calculator or do a tree on the first two terms.
Is there one that doesn't mix? Wait, what is that?
I don't have the answers in front of me, so I'm not sure.
First, you have to be. I'm sorry.
Okay. That was probably the hardest one, number whatever I just did. The back page is kind of easy. There's a lot of distributing. Since most of you are going to do it on a calculator, I don't think I'll talk about all of it. But let's do a couple of them on the back. 13. There are some letters on the bottom, like 23 and 25, so we'll do one of those. 13 is cube root of 3. This one your calculator can't do. Cube root of negative 20. Well, we kind of just talked about this. What do we do with the negative inside the cube root? It's just going to come out. It's just going to come out on the outside. 20 times 3, you can multiply those together, is cube root of 60. And the question is, does this simplify? It only simplifies if what? If there's a triple in it. Okay, are there any triples in this?
No.
No. So it does not simplify. So I just basically did like 20 times 3, and I took the negative out. What's your question?
Are there gonna be any eyes on the test?
Well, I didn't put any on this sheet, so probably not. Was that you, Hope? No, it wasn't.
No, was it actually?
No.
it wasn't.
I really thought it was you. Wait.
Definitely wasn't me.
It was that.
Can you get your voice that high for us?
Yeah.
No, I'm too manly.
That's scary. Mr. Jordan, are you
No, I'm
back
not
yet?
doing that one. Well, like actually 15. So you can multiply those together like normal, but you can't leave it like that. That's pretty much all these problems. And your calculator would do it automatically, but most of these will simplify somewhat. So don't just put square root of 12. If you're doing it on your calculator, no problem. 17 is distributive problems. 17, 19, 21. 23 and 25 are FOIL problems. I think 25 is probably the harder of those two. And they both have letters in them, so let's look at 25. Square root of 5x. These almost look like conjugates, but they're not quite. So you do need to do the whole FOIL. This one is a little bit different than this one. So first, what's square root of 3 times square root of 3? 3. Outside, square root of 3 times negative 5 is square root of 5x. Yes. Remember, the normal numbers multiply together and the square roots multiply together. So really we just did square root of 3 times square root of 5x is square root of 15x. Left the negative 5 alone. That's why these are separate. They don't simplify. Inside, square root of 3 times square root of 5x. And the last, square root of 5x times negative 5 square root of 5x. What is square root of 5x times square root of 5x? 5x. You could say it's square root of 25x squared, but that is just 5x. So what's 5x times negative 5? Negative 25x. Okay, do we have any like terms? Yeah, these middle two. Negative 5 square root of 15x plus 1 square root of 15x. So the 3 is alone. Negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4 square root of 15x. So I will put some problems on there where you can do the calculator. Probably, maybe most of the test might be that. But I will also put some on there where you can't, like with the letters or the cube roots. So there will be some you have to kind of know how to do it. I guess I won't put I on there because I didn't put it on this worksheet, so we'll leave that alone.
Ew, you're ugly.
You're being a brat.
If only she was as sweet as you.